Hello everyone, this is Teddy Keckstedt from Forex Trading Unlocked, and welcome to our webinar today, Forex and Crypto Trading for July 1st, 2021. Can you believe it is the first day of the third quarter and already halfway through the summer? Here's our disclaimer, just to remind you that this webinar and video is for illustrative and educational purposes only. And if you haven't done so already, check out the book High Probable Japanese Candlestick Patterns, available on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle versions. All right, let's go to our live action screen here. We have our YouTube Forex Trading Unlocked channel already put up here. Just to remind you to hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and check out our different playlists and other videos, even by and featured channels also as well, with the things that they have going on. With that, we're now here at the forex-trading-unlocked.com website. And we are going to pull up a couple things. I just want to move over this one quick little window. Alright, so we have the Forex Trading Unlocked Workstation tab we just clicked on, and that pulls up. We're going to skip past the numbers from today. For those of you who've been watching the market today, you know that the dollar had a little bit of strength today, and now it seems to be kind of quieting down. Remember, we're in front of a holiday weekend for the United States. Things are expected to dry up as far as volume. It's going to be a little skittish the next couple sessions, especially on Monday, when it is Europe only that is trading. So what do we have going on here? Oh, I know what we have going on here. We have a whole nother window for you to look at. Okay. All right, let's get this straight here. All right, so we have the euro that is in a confirmed downtrend here. And we have made some new lows over the past couple sessions. Question is, what are we going to do? Well, we have some key support here below this 118.48. We're still a little bit bearish. We're coming off of a lower move low, so this is the key high. If you are an aggressive bear, trading below 119.78 keeps this market in a free fall. Be careful. A rally above this level will have us challenging this downward sloping resistance line that is kind of holding the downtrend intact. Keynote here to realize is that the trend here has been coming down, and we held this low. We made a little bottom a week and a half ago, and tried to hold up. In the last few sessions, as you can see, we fell back through this upward sloping support line. That puts us in a negative way. We're looking for the market to continue lower over the next few sessions. Radically, no. We think that it's just right now the trend is your friend. Right now it's because of the holiday. Also, we're expecting a big sideways trade, so be cautious with the what you're doing over the next couple sessions. The British pound US dollar confirmed its bearish trend by making a lower move low again today. It's still lower on the day, as well as kind of just not too far off of the lows, actually. This is another market as well that it had failed to hold support off of the nice bounce that we had last week. We came off of a lower move high and have made a lower move low, confirming once again that the bears are in control. I'd be very cautious trying to buy into this market. Wait until you have a signal. That would be one of the best things that you can do for yourself as far as trying to figure out what's going on with that. Okay, so just be mindful of that while you're moving into your trades for over the next day and a half, especially tomorrow. Once again, we're heading into holiday markets. It's going to be very, very thin, the volume. And there could be some crazy moves, but that's just it. You could see some very erroneous spikes that are just going to put you in a world of hurt. All right. Let's look at something else here. Okay, so what is helping to drive these two major currencies? Because the pound and the euro are the two biggest components of what? The dollar index. The key is that the dollar index did set a higher move high yesterday. Today it's inched a little bit higher, but it's having a little bit of trouble. It's a little mixed because the euro is now slightly higher and the pound is still lower on the day. As a whole, no matter what, the dollar index has confirmed this upside correction remains bullish. So especially versus your major currencies out there. All right, so now let's take a look and see what's going on with the Swiss. US dollar CHF. Okay, so far we don't have any questions on the chat. If you guys have any questions about any currency crosses, please do not be afraid to chime in on the chat board on either YouTube or Twitch and let us know what you want to talk about. All right, so US dollar Swiss, once again confirming new highs over the past 2 sessions and holding them. This one here, this upside correction, maintains a nice bull market, but that doesn't mean that we can't come back for some sort of a little retracement. I would key off of the low from a few sessions ago. This is the big one holding up the base for this market. As long as we stay above this 91.40 area, I would expect we actually might start to settle into some sideways chop here. We have 92.5 to 93 even as our upside price target off of this low. We hit the 92.5 already, so 93 even, I think it's going to be a grind. Now, interestingly enough, you have flight to quality going on in the U.S. dollar as a whole. When you look at the U.S. dollar Swiss right now, the fact that the dollar can maintain this rally is kind of significant. Usually, with the dollar having been under pressure like it was, you would think that you would have follow through from the Swiss. This one has not given much follow through at all. So that's a very key indication that we are in probably a period where we're going to set up for consolidation. With the holiday and coming into the beginning of the third quarter, it's very likely that we'll probably see a lot of choppy markets for the rest of today. I mean, where I would think today's action is pretty much done. Then we have tomorrow's action too, which I do not expect very much on that one. There are some economic numbers. Be mindful of that for sure. The bond market is something that 30-year Treasury bond and the 10-year notes are two markets I would definitely be mindful of when it comes to dollar crosses. If you're not paying attention to those, well, then I think you're going to have a little bit of a problem. So I expect some definitely wild volatility tomorrow, but thin volume as well. So it's going to be skittish. And then also, once the numbers come out tomorrow, I would say that no matter how volatile it is, expect the market to be dead by 10 o'clock in the morning. It just makes sense. You have all these people that are going on vacation in the U.S. By that time, by mid-morning tomorrow, you have the European and Asian markets closed. We are closed for the weekend and then in front of a holiday market. So like I said, expect some crazy, maybe intermittent intraday spikes that are erroneous and crazy as far as how high or low they may go, but don't expect to have a lot of volume on them. So I think the algos could push around the market a little bit, and we'll see how it goes, but I don't expect much more out of this Swiss trade either. If you look at where it kind of consolidated before, we're right into this band right here. We're right at the bottom part of this. So I could see us maybe get up to 93.18 as an extreme, and then we're going to most likely go sideways and digest the current strength. Now, irony aside, JPY, here's one that is exploding to the upside. So when we have flight to quality, it's typically in the US dollar, or we have it in the yen or the Swiss. So when the Swiss and the yen are starting to fall versus the dollar, then flight to quality is in the US dollar. Right now, we had 111.5 as our upside price target. If you've been watching our videos this week or even saw us on tfnn.com on our weekly Wednesday spot at 8:40 in the morning Central Standard Time, you would have heard our price targets here. We have now hit that. That's the short-term one. We still are very bullish, looking for the market to get up to 112.5 to 113. This slope of this trend is very nice. I can see this one maintaining itself and even starting to digest a little bit before it makes another rally. See how it's been nicely making these symmetrical little waves going up and then having a nice little pullback, making a higher move low, and then boom, doing the same, continuing to make a new high, but not very violently. So key off this last low at 110.42. I think if you fail from here, then you're obviously putting pressure on the upward sloping support line that is holding the trend intact. Should we fall below there? Sure, of course we can get a correction here. You can always get a correction. The markets don't go in one direction, right? So how far were we looking for? Well, let's just say that the high of today becomes a short-term high, and we start to fall back coming into tomorrow and the next few days. So I could see us coming back down into this area here. All right, so here's we go. Let's get rid of this Fibonacci thing. So around 109.5 down to 109.06 area, this would be the area where I think should we fall below 110.42, you could see a sell-off into here as an extreme. After that, I would expect a bounce and this market to continue higher. There's a lot of factors that are driving the U.S. dollar yen trade. The oil trade is pretty much off the table. It's hanging around $75. It's going to 100. We're at that friction point where economies start to slow, and it will start to show in numbers. There's obviously a lag for the numbers, so we won't see that for a couple of months, but I would bet dollars to donuts, and I am actually, because of the trades that I'm in, that even though we have a lot of resurgence and people going out, it's because they haven't gone out in a while. With rampant inflation the way it's going and the fact that it is not stopping, how is it possible that we can maintain the spending levels that are going on? So unless there's more free money dealt out by the government, who knows? We'll see how this goes. But inflation is definitely hitting the market. It's also going to hit international trade. As dollar strength comes into play, it does help Japan out in the sense of their exports becoming cheaper for us. Am I a dollar bull overall? Not necessarily, but I think that the dollar's been beaten up so much over the past few months that you're going to see a little relief versus the European currencies, which we're already seeing, and the U.S. dollar yen still, I think, is going to grind higher. Typically, you'll see the U.S. dollar yen go inversely to where the euro and the pound are going with the dollar. But right now, dollar strength definitely is in the yen. And I would say that you're probably, like you can see here, where you get your little sell-offs. It looks like the market wants to turn, but boom, it turns right around and makes new or higher move highs. So the trend is your friend. Remember to be mindful of that when it comes to the U.S. dollar, JPY. Now let's look at the Australian dollar, U.S. dollar. This is a currency that's in a world of hurt. It's been trending strong versus the dollar for 16 months, and over the past few months it has fallen apart, proving that it is now in not just a short-term but intermediate, neutral to lower trade. With the sanctions that China's putting on Australia, with the new lockdowns that are going on in Australia, it is hard to believe that this currency will find any strength versus even multiple other currencies. Look at the New Zealand dollar, Australian dollar here. This is where you start to see what I'm talking about. Strong, strong, strong. New Zealand dollar is kind of weak versus the dollar and choppy, but it's stronger versus the Australian dollar. Look at the British pound versus the Australian dollar. Same thing. It's coming off of higher move lows. It's just under a higher move high, looking for a higher move high. Australian dollar is in a weak way. I would say with these other trends being so strong, then when you get to the Australian dollar, US dollar, since the US dollar is stronger versus, say, the pound and even the New Zealand dollar, how can the Aussie be strong versus the dollar, right? So that right there shows that weakness prevails. There's a lot of long-term reasons where I would say that any rally you see now is a rally to sell. I do not see us getting above this area here at 76.45 in a while, let alone I don't even see us taking out this last swing high from a week ago at 76.18. The slope of this rally of this bearish slide is pretty severe over the last week and a half, but still I think that's because of what's going on in the Australian between the economy, what's going on with their fight with China, and then also the fact that there's a couple other reasons with their lockdown that they're going to be weak versus other currencies. So the fact that they're weak versus other currencies, if the dollar is strong versus them, obviously it remains to be seen, but it usually means that this will also be, the dollar will be stronger versus the Aussie. So look for rallies to sell. Right now we don't have any buy signal, that's for sure. That would be a very counter trend signal that we definitely want to be cautious on. Right now we're looking for a little bit of a bounce and then another reason to sell this market. So since we talked about the New Zealand dollar, US dollar, this one, as you can see, didn't make new lows versus the dollar. And this is where you see divergence, where we may not necessarily New Zealand dollar strength, we may not see that come into the market in a very strong way, but we may see it be neutral and at least not be beaten down like the Aussie will be. Like, for instance, I would not be that surprised if, say, in 2 months from now, you still see the New Zealand dollar, US dollar trading pretty much where it's at, maybe slightly lower, maybe slightly higher. But Australian dollar, US dollar, I definitely see trending much, much lower. And you could see from the chart when we did the currency cross between New Zealand dollar and Aussie dollar where that strength is. And that's why we're holding up also here with the New Zealand dollar not making new lows. So not that the New Zealand dollar is that strong versus the US dollar, but since it's strong versus the Aussie, and then this is kind of neutral, well, that's the reason. See, there's no lockdowns going on in New Zealand like there are in Australia, and they don't have the tensions or the sanctions now put on them like China has done economically with them, which it's kind of crazy how they've raised the tariffs after announcing 2 weeks ago how they're draining their reserves to keep inflation down on their new products being manufactured there. We'll see how that works out for them. Somehow, I don't think that I think they can control global inflation. Well, yeah, that's not possible. So anyhow, U.S. dollar Canada. This is an interesting ball of wax here. It's been in an overall long-term downtrend. I would be cautious trying to fight this trend. We had a sell signal come into the marketplace the other day, last week. We came off this higher move high, made a higher move low. We have yet to take out this high. This is the border to cross. If we can come out and take out this high, then things are good. All trading below 124.85 keeps this market below this downward sloping resistance line, which is pretty much holding the trend intact. You can go back even further and do the same thing here, and it's not much difference. So here we'll even put in this one here and come right into here. And as you can see, they both come in right there. So we have a lot of strength when it comes to the Canadian dollar versus the dollar. Momentum is to the bears. The main thing about this currency is I don't know if there's that much room to the downside, but upside potential there's very little. And it's not because of the energy trade, it's because of the indifference between the Trudeau administration and the Biden administration. Why Biden has picked Canada, our neighbor to the north, to pick on, I, for the life of me, cannot figure out. Especially after the G7 meeting a couple weeks ago, you would think that they would have had a little sit down being like, hey, can we figure this out, and at least pretend to have something that we're talking about that could better our relations, and that doesn't seem to be the case. And with their lockdown measures increasing once again, that's going to impact trade too. So we'll see how that goes. But I don't think that you're going to see a strong, if the dollar is strong versus the European currencies and even versus the yen and even against the Australian dollar, don't expect that to be happening with the US dollar Canada. It's very likely that this is not going to stay that way. So just be mindful of that. All right, let's do one last check of the Euro US dollar before we hit the cryptos. As you can see, trading is very light. It's lunchtime Chicago time. We have a few hours left in the market for today before we set our tone for the last trading day of the week. Once again, because of the holiday, I am not expecting to see very much action. All right, Bitcoin, US dollar. Let's see what's going on with the BTC today. Bitcoin is definitely in a bearish trend, continues to make lower move lows and lower move highs. It's been trying to inch higher for the past week and a half. I would look at this more as an upside correction. I would be very careful of what is going on here. So let's see. Overall, you can see this trend. There might be a little room to the upside, but it looks more like it's wedging here. You can see it's falling on support. And we'll take the most recent swing highs and swing lows, and we're looking for a breakout. That's pretty much what we have to look for here. Now, it's interestingly enough, we've had some signals in some of the other currencies, cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin has been wavering, going very neutral. Remember that Binance is now banned from the UK and Canada. So not that that's the momentum. It's kind of weird. They're either embracing cryptocurrencies like never before in certain countries, or they're getting very skittish and banning. If they're not banning cryptocurrencies entirely, they're banning definitely certain companies from operating. Possibly it's because of the fact that the reality is that 9 out of 10 crypto companies are not real. They're complete scams from the get-go. Even the pictures of the faces of the people running the boards for these companies on their websites are all fake people, fake names, and fake pictures, or pictures of people who are definitely not the people who are pretending to run the company. So that's probably why we have this digestive phase with Bitcoin. And I don't think you're going to see this change for the next few days at least. You never know. It's a holiday weekend, but I don't think that right now you're going to see a breakout. We have come off a higher move low and made a short-term higher move high. The key is above 30,189. We're good as long as we stay above there. Then we have a chance at making a run for this 36,900 and above there. Maybe at least get us back up to somewhere around the 40,000 to mid 40,000 range for the for Bitcoin cryptocurrency. Below 30,189, be very cautious. It's very likely that we will be dipping down towards that 28,000 mark, if not even the 25,000 mark. I think if you look at on a monthly basis, if we go back to here, where are we going to find support? Well, remember when we had rallied all the way up to this area here and then had fallen off for the past couple years, this is where we broke out. Could we get all the way down to 19,000? Well, anything is possible. Anything is possible. And if we just take this here, let's see where we're at. So right now, we've hit the 50% range, and we got the 0.618 range. Let's get rid of the fib. All right, so we have this previous high that was the first big major high in Bitcoin and got everybody all excited back in 2017. Then they took all this heat and we were trading all the way down here back in the 3,000 level. Still came back and dipped down in that at the height of the onset of the pandemic. And then ironically enough, over the past few months, ever since Coinbase has gone public, we've seen a sell-off in Bitcoin. So we've fallen into this 50% 0.618 area. It seems like we're trying to find a base here and of support, but I would use caution. It's very likely that we could still even get down to this 19,700 area, just because of all the news that's going on negatively about cryptocurrencies. Does that mean it's going to happen? Absolutely not. But for Bitcoin, it is very possible. ETH USD, Ethereum US dollar. Interestingly enough, this one had a nice little bounce, and now today, look at what's going on here. This is something I would be very leery of, and this is why I think Bitcoin is going to go sideways. The Ethereum network definitely has a big tie to the Bitcoin blockchain, so I would be mindful of this low here at 1696. As long as we stay above this, we're all good. But today, with the way it's trading right now, we have a potential bearish engulfing line sell signal forming. If we settle where we're at right now today on a daily basis for Ethereum, or even lower than it is right now, I would say that this correction to the upside is just that. So be very mindful of it. We're channeling lower. We're coming off of a lower move low ultimately on the longer term. So short term, we've had an upside correction where we made a lower move high, a higher move low, a higher move high. This could be the last high. This could be the corrective high. Boom, now we're going to come back on support. I would be very, very mindful and leery of trading below that. Now if we get above yesterday's high here, that's a different story. Then I see an upside breakout. Without a doubt. Above 2,000, basically 300, this market all of a sudden starts to be not just in a bear trend anymore or a short-term bullish correction, but it becomes a neutral to higher outlook for the intermediate to longer term. Very likely that this could happen. Let's get through the holiday, folks. I think that after we do, you're going to be surprised at how things start to come back to life again, but it's going to take a few days, a few sessions. XMR US dollar, let's look at the Monero. This is another one that's setting up pretty much like Ethereum. We're putting up a potential bearish engulfing line sell signal today. Remember, let's wait until the signal happens before we act and react. Just be mindful that it is setting up. Now, both Monero and Ethereum, I think, have a lot of future when it comes to the blockchain and the technology that it can provide, just like even Bitcoin. If we had that, it solves a lot of problems, just like it can cause a lot of problems. But I think these technologies, no matter what, they are not going away. It'll be interesting to see how Ethereum and Monero are embraced longer term as far as the protocols for technology. I believe that there is a future in Monero and Ethereum's technology as far as being utilized around the globe. Now, when we talk about something like the Doge US dollar, here we are. Totally different story. This one's riding the crypto wave. As far as being technology that's going to be embraced in the long run, I don't know about that one. However, we did have a buy signal here that was triggered here. This is you see this low here with this big sell off, and then this little tiny update here in the second one. This is a 3 inside up, high probable Japanese candlestick pattern. If you want to learn how to trade this, oh, here we go. We got a couple people on the chat here. Hey, what's going on? Do you stream on a daily basis? You know what? We stream when the markets are super active, but like especially like tomorrow, it's in front of a holiday market. That's why we're streaming today. We're starting to build up a time. See, because we have followers from all around the globe, we're trying to find out the most conducive time to stream. But thanks for your input. Obviously you're on right now looking, so this is a good time for you, I would think, for streaming as far as crypto and Forex markets or other markets too. Remember, we look at gold and futures and stuff like that, especially the interest rates, because they're a function of currency pricing. So, but anyhow, yes, we do. Sometimes we stream daily, and then other weeks we stream pretty much Sunday, Monday. A lot of times on Tuesday nights and on Wednesdays also. We're on tfnn.com. Sometimes if the markets are active, we will do that. But since we're heading into a holiday market, it's summer times, we're kind of curbing our schedule a little bit, so spending a little bit more time on the golf course instead of in front of the mic on the stream. But anyhow, if you leave comments for us, we always get back to you on the comments on our videos for YouTube or Twitch. And we also try and incorporate any questions too about any crosses that you may ask also. So we got Doge again. My biggest problem with this one is the long-term acceptance of the technology. I look at this as too many young retail people who don't know how to trade are getting lucky when they caught a nice bull run, thinking that they're all financial geniuses and caught the next Bitcoin. Could this be the next Bitcoin and go to $100,000 or $1 million? Well, anything's possible in this world, especially in today's world. However, as far as Doge, my biggest problem is the true overall embracing of the technology. I think that there's too much of a chance that you'll see Dogecoin be overtaken by some new cryptos that may have similar applications to their technology, and obviously making it better. That's the one thing, is that as every day they're coming up with some new stuff. I mean, we got some new altcoins and stuff like that we're going to start looking at, especially like the Stellar Network and Vcoin and a couple other ones, and Bond. And yeah, there's a bunch of new ones that we're interested in, which, by the way, we do have positions on in some of these coins, especially a couple of the ones, everyone I just mentioned except for Vcoin, we actually have a long position on currently, even long Doge. So just from a little bit higher than where it's at. And my whole thing was I rolled in some other currencies and just was looking for the buy at around 30-35 cents and see if it goes up to 45-50 cents and just do the scalp. I'm not looking to buy this thing down, and like I said, I'm looking for the scalp. Once it goes up above 45-50 cents, I don't care if I miss out on it. I'm taking my profit and just leaving a couple. Basically, I'll leave probably 20-30 coins left on it and just forget about it, because that's next to nothing. I mean, you're talking about pennies, dollars, So, and then if it turns out, then one day it might buy me a nice dinner or pay for a nice trip 10 years from now. So, but like I said, one of the key ones to watch right now is the XMR US dollar. This technology I like. I think it's here to stay, definitely for at least the next 3 to 5 years, where it's going to continue to grow. And I think that you do have some upside potential, but I would be leery of how today settles. But remember also, we're coming into a holiday market as well, so it's very likely that you're going to have thin trading, especially from U.S. people over the next weekend, where maybe there is some unloading. Maybe you have people taking profit in the crypto world. So we shall see how that goes. Let's see, we have anyone in the chat on YouTube? No, just a couple little likes. Thank you very much. All right, so now let's go back to one last trip around the world. We're going to look at the euro US dollar. All right, so now it's coming back negative again on the day. So this is interesting. It's starting, dollar strength is seeping back into the market, which, like I said, we've been seeing this in the other currencies, especially when you see strength in the Swiss like we have and strength against the yen like we have. The euro and the pound, it's hard for them to gather a lot because all of a sudden the flight to quality currencies are losing ground. So let's see how much the pound has slipped since we started this video. And the pound has continued to make new lows once again. Look at that. So since we started this webinar 30 minutes ago, the pound has dropped about 15, almost 20 pips. That's pretty good because it was coming back. So we have a little bit of dollar strength coming into our lunchtime trade here in the U.S. Well, definitely lunchtime Chicago time, which is what we're at Central Standard here. Let's look at the U.S. dollar CHF. Here we go. All right, this one, yeah, this one was a little bit lower before. It's holding its ground. It made a higher move high on the day. I think it's going to stay positive as well. And I really do like it going up to this 93.18 yet, which is not that far to go over the next few sessions, grinding higher, probably really sideways over the next 48 hours though. Let's look at the US dollar JPY. So since the dollar is gaining strength there, yeah, here we are. It's up about another, yeah, it was trading 111, 38, 39 when we were talking about the yen a little while ago. So this is back pushing its highs. Maybe we will have a little bit of afternoon action. Remember, we did have unemployment claims that came out today. These numbers are going to definitely continue to sway the market. The biggest coming up, though, is PPI and CPI to watch out for in the next month, as well as obviously unemployment coming out. That will be the big swinger to see how that one does or does not meet expectations. I have my theories on how that's going to work. I usually would say, you know what, don't expect any surprises. For some reason, especially because of the way they've been altering, especially down the unemployment claims and the last unemployment number, I got a feeling that it's going to be a fudged number where we will see a big adjustment probably in a month. But since we have been adjusting these other ones, don't be surprised to see a good number come out tomorrow. And should that happen, you'll probably see a sell-off in the US dollar. On thin trading. So that's something you need to be very mindful of. Australian dollar, US dollar. Once again, this one's a dog. It's free falling. In fact, you know what? Just to let you know, let's go back up to here. We do have a trade balance number for the calendar, or for Canada. Non-farm payrolls and unemployment. So let's see what we have here. We have the forecast and the prior. So the prior unemployment rate is 5.8. They're going down to 5.7. The reality is we are not at 5.8% for unemployment in the U.S. We're still up around 8%. This is not correct whatsoever. There's always a 1 to 3% margin of error, but for sure we are definitely running around 8%. At least I know in Chicago it's running higher because everywhere you go, they're trying to hire places. Even restaurants can't fully. They could fill the restaurant, but they don't have the staff to serve the whole restaurant, so they're keeping actually sections closed now, not because of COVID restrictions, but because they just don't have the people to work. So, not to mention in the whole little industrial complexes and people in construction, I know too, they can't even get union people to come back to work. So I got a feeling that this number is not exactly going to be. I think that it's very likely that it will come out 5.7, but I think you will see it adjusted without a doubt next month, just like this 5.8 has been adjusted. It's only not that much, but it's definitely been adjusted. So yeah, be mindful of those numbers coming out tomorrow at 7:30 Chicago time. They are going to rock the markets. So then let's look at the US dollar Canada once again. Yeah, this one still has a little strength, but yeah, I think it's running out of gas. So there's just too much weighing on this market where unemployment isn't going to impact this one. CPI and PPI, possibly. Oil, that's already off the table right now as far as the energy sector. This one is more a Biden-Trudeau boxing match, so I would be very leery. We had the sell signal here that we caught. It touched down our first target, did not make it to the extended target. Now, what are we looking at? Well, we're coming off a higher move low. The trend is in a corrective bull mode, but I still think that it's going to run out of gas. And the key thing is to see, should we actually fall back on support here at $1.2254? All bets are off, and this correction is over. Looking for this market to continue to bang support. All right, so let's look at the BTC USD, see if they're getting some action. Yeah, it's still lower on today. Not really trading very much, not bouncing around. Very quiet. I'm pretty sure that these will heat up. Ethereum, see, this is the one. It's got this bearish engulfing line forming in a big way. I would really watch out for this one today. So if you're looking to buy into Ethereum, you may want to wait another day or two before you do it, because should we settle where we're at or lower on the day today, I think you'll get a good chance of being able to buy this under 2,000, maybe even back around 1,800 before you get a bounce at the very least. It may even be the beginning of a new leg lower where we get below 1,600. We'll have to watch how the other cryptos are going. XMR, USD, also we have the sell signal forming. Just to remind you, be mindful of this one as well. Same scenario. If you're looking to buy it, I would look to wait and buy it another day or two down here, but it's actually riding good support. Monero is somewhere between anywhere around 200 to 190, somewhere in that area. It's a very good long-term buy, I think, from as far as for this one is concerned. And then we have the Doge US dollar, which this one has the buy signal. If these other ones turn negative, I would expect this to continue lower. This one already spiked up and came up just... We had our target for Doge right here. It fell short of it. That's the 50% mark. It didn't make it there. If these other cryptos turn south, if you are a Doge buyer, then I would look to buy this probably back down around 17 cents. You may even be able to get it down around 13 cents. But this is where I have to say be very cautious. Like, this buy signal came in, it was good for a couple days. We did not hit the target, even the first target. And that would put us up into a good support area. This is obviously heavy resistance. If the other cryptos are turning south, especially Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Monero, it's very likely Doge is going to be back at near its lows and maybe even making lower lows. Should it get down to 10 cents, somewhere around this area, this could be another Enron. As far as, like, for those of you that don't remember the stock Enron, or are too young to remember, or were not even around, Enron was a huge energy company where it was trading at very high levels. And I remember as it was falling, brokers were telling their customers, especially that didn't have any money in it, oh, it's a great buy at 80, it's an even better buy at 70. They're like, at $60, this is fantastic. At 50, how can you not buy this? At $30, it's a steal of a deal. Well, the company went out of business because of all the fraud they committed. I mean, the biggest thing with the fraud that they committed was they lost $400 million in 2 years hedging themselves in, or excuse me, $200 million in the futures markets hedging energy bets. And how can you possibly be in the oil sector and energy sector and screw up a hedge? That's completely, they were just gambling and just trading. They were not hedging by any means. They just blew through hundreds of millions of dollars that was transferred into the futures markets, and obviously a bunch of happy oil traders and gas traders out there because of that. So, but that's where this little story could be the same thing. Doge, if that technology is not embraced and it really is a pet rock pump and dump, or even if it's just the fact of the people who are supporting it now are either along from the top or are just people who are originators still trying to get it pumped up so they can sell it to you higher, this thing could be a very big dog. So Dogecoin could be a dog. I would be very leery of buying it at 10 cents. Like I said, we're already long. I'm not averaging this position because I would be really, really mad at myself, even if I, just for the little bit of amount of money that I would put at it anyhow, just to throw it away. You know what? I'd rather just go walk into a casino and put it down on either black or red on a roulette table. I think my odds would be much better. So, because this is not 50% that it's going, possibly going up or down, and has a higher chance of going down than up, especially in the short run. So, I hope this has been very helpful for you guys today. You guys don't seem to have any questions, do you? So, since you don't, just want to remind you that when you are on our website here, and I'll leave this one up because I'm going to have to do another video. So when you're on the forex-trading-unlock.com website, remember to check out our nav bar. If you go to the market analysis and education, you go to the workstation page. That's the one that we were just working this video off of, where you can work the charts, you got the news, you got the numbers and things like that. You can also go to the markets tab here. If you just go to Forex, then you can go instantly down and toggle to where you have the major crosses, or even like the yen, Australian dollar, and there's all kinds of other currency crosses that we haven't talked about that maybe you're interested in trade around the world. We even have the Bitcoin crosses. So check out these tabs. We are a great resource where there's not a lot of there's no pop-ups, there's not a lot of marketing and stuff. We are not that kind of a site. We don't bury you with all that kind of stuff. You get very quick access to information that you need all in real time, except for futures. You hit the futures tab, by law everything has to be in delay. For product courses and services, here's how you find out about our mentoring, trading courses. Our trading courses are pretty much locked up for months, so if you want information about it, we can contact you and let you know when we can possibly schedule you in. The Market Center is something also that's being delayed because of this still stems from last year with the lockdowns and the riots that messed everything up downtown, and even the closure of the floor and stuff like that. We had to move all of our technology twice, especially because of the riots, and we're not doing it again. And right now it's starting to come back online, but they're closing more and more offices around the Board of Trade. So especially the one where we have our technology base. So until we can figure out where to move this, which now is probably going to be, well, definitely out of Chicago and maybe even out of the country to keep the technology running and don't have to worry about it being shut down. So, but then we have high probable Japanese candlestick patterns here, where if you look at that, that's the book that I've written. This will help you with the signals that you can use in all different markets. There's a video on it, really short one, really to the point. And you can also see the book. Here's the cover. You can buy it, you can share it, and you can preview it and start to read a little bit and see what the book is all about. And these are signals that you can incorporate into your own trading systems and plans, or you can follow the plan and trading system that is outlined in the book. So, and obviously you can sign up for our email, blah, blah, blah. We do not barrage you with emails constantly either. It's not that we don't have things to say, but we don't force things. So remember, check out our YouTube channel and subscribe to it if you haven't. Check out our playlist. You can even go back and see our old ones from a long time ago. And also, remember, we do interviews with tfnn.com. You can look at our videos from there, the Nadex, eoption.com as well. We have them on our playlist. Lots of content here for you, whether you're a Forex trader, a futures trader, stock trader, options trader. We teach you how to integrate how markets are interrelated and how they correlate, and how you can, while you may be an equity trader, you can still trade the Forex markets through equities, or you use that information as a tool for your trading in equities or options or binary options or futures or what have you. So definitely please pass it on to your friends. Tell them all about it. Subscribe, hit that button. Also on LinkedIn, we have, for those of you that are on LinkedIn and want to connect to us, our company page, which posts a lot of things that you wouldn't normally get from our website directly, unless we're doing a big promotion. So we always broadcast different things. We have other companies that we also bring in that have good posts for you and information, news stories, market analysis, trading signals. You can see we have over 10,000 followers on our LinkedIn page here. that we interact with. So we have events that we also, when we have big webinars that we do for, say, like the Nadex or eoption.com and stuff like that, we will put a promotion out on LinkedIn. So if you're connected to us there, you'll know in advance with a nice long schedule about where to sign up for those links and stuff like that. But always, if you can, make sure that you start your Forex trading day at forex-trading-unlock.com. Want to appreciate you guys for you hanging in with us today, and we're going to probably, depending on how the markets close today, we might have one more video for tomorrow that we'll do tonight. Otherwise, we will be gone until the weekend. We will set up a video for next week's trading. Remember, the U.S. markets are closed on Monday. It's a holiday market. Do not forget that. Do not try and force trades. As a 30-year plus veteran in the markets and trading, I can tell you, trading holiday markets is usually a bad idea. Unless you're already in a position and you're monitoring it and working it, entering one is usually a very, very bad idea. Plus, you have unemployment on a thin market and going into a holiday market. Trust me, bad things happen to most traders. Stay away. Do yourself a favor. Go for a walk, go play golf, go on a picnic, go visit your friends and relatives. Have a good weekend, have a safe holiday, and we look forward to having you around with us next week. So definitely, we will see you. Thank you very much once again, and also you have a good day. Teddy Keckstedt from Forex Trading Unlocked, and we will see you guys